guys, we're here at NAPE 2023. We're here with Scooter Womack, Executive Vice President of Pumpjack Power, in the Bitcoin mining pavilion. It's pretty exciting. The first time in the history of NAPE that they've had a Bitcoin mining pavilion.
That's great. I mean, that's really cool. I just think it shows the crossover that's there. It's same sandbox, Permian Basin, a lot of activity out there, of course. It's one of the biggest production areas in the whole world, and it's, if not now, will be soon one of the biggest production areas for Bitcoin as well. So it's inevitable.
And every year, I think this is going to grow to a larger part of the showroom floor. So let's talk about this connection. And because you guys have come at it at Pumpjack from a long history in the Permian and in oil and gas and energy in general. Give us a little bit of history of Pumpjack and on the infrastructure side, but also just serving load in the oil field.
Sure. I mean, on the Pumpjack side, as a rep, as a supplier, we, see the intimate problems and solutions required, to deliver power to, remote locations. Of course, all the infrastructure planning that has to happen, the forward planning on the financial side as well. It really all has to kind of come together. And then, we really kind of do it nose to tail, right?
Right.
It's, from the geologist standpoint, like the operators can't control where the commodity is, right? And so you got to create a solution. And sometimes that is getting something up on a microgrid or on-site generation first before you transition into grid power.
Yeah.
But there is a continuum there that has to happen, and it's all about electricity. It's by far the most economic, as opposed to running diesel generation or nat gas generation or anything like that. You really kind of want to get to grid power as fast as you can. And I think that's a lot of the same solutions required for the miners. Miners are host at a lot of these facilities as well. Very remote. It takes a lot of planning, a lot of capital management, and you got to have people who really kind of know what they're doing. So
yeah. Well, for those that maybe are new to the space, Bitcoin is never going away from proof of work. So this interconnection, this interplay between the energy sector and Bitcoin mining is only going to grow. And for some people that's concerning. I think the more you study it though, and the more the evidence that facts come out, it's actually really exciting. Even if you're a climate warrior, or someone who is ESG is above all else, and flourishing above profits, above everything. Even if that's your perspective, the more you study what this kind of energy innovation that Bitcoin can bring to stranded energy, whether that's stranded solar, wind, natural gas, flare gas.
Yep. I mean, anything. Or even just general capacity. I mean, we're
grid capacity.
Yeah. I mean, or even capacity with oil and gas operators as it is.
Right.
I mean, we have a ton of clients around us. Some large, some small, some public, some private. We get calls every week from our oil and gas clients inquiring about, hey, we have this built out, we have our infrastructure built out, but we have an extra 5 megawatts of capacity on this line.
Beautiful.
If we don't use it, the utilities, Encore, AEP, TNMP, they'll claw the load back. They will claw the capacity back, and they've dumped a ton of money, a ton of capital. So it's not just about the stranded fuel, if you will. There is stranded capacity out there on operators' land as it is. And I think that's one of the things that we'll start to see over this next year is that coexistence. We already have some clients that have mining operations on their leases right now for that specific reason. And I think that is really, really exciting and creates efficiencies that just have not existed over the past even 12, 24 months.
Right.
It's really, really cool.
Now, as they do this, you've got a big oil and gas operator who has some surface area that they lease out to a miner. They've got some excess capacity, like you're describing, on their, on the transmission capacity and through their transmission distribution service provider. Are they just leasing it straight up, or are they doing a joint venture, profit share? What's the most common? What are you seeing as the most common outcome?
Yeah, the easiest way to do that is when the operator also owns the surface, right? Because they're in control of that access, damages, liabilities, etc.
What if they just own the mineral rights?
Well, then they're on a lease as well, and they have to have a
sublease
kind of a sublease. Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And there's just a ton of room for this to grow. I really, really believe that.
So there's about 1,900 megawatts of Bitcoin mining, on-grid Bitcoin mining in Texas today. That could grow. We initially assessed that it might grow to 4,000 megawatts by the end of 2023. I don't think that's accurate. I think it's going to be more close to 2,800, somewhere below 3,000.
Right.
Given some of the contractions in the market and increases in power prices.
Yep.
But how much more potential is there off grid? Can we add another 500 megawatts of sort of what we call behind the meter, whether that's
Yeah. I mean, gosh, it's an interesting question. I don't know that I have a great answer for that. I think there's probably between 500 to a gig or so off-grid capacity.
Yeah.
Those deals are quite a bit more complex.
Right.
Whether it's flare, whether it's stranded gas, whether it's even stranded solar or wind, right? Those deals on the financial side and on the wholesale side are just more complicated to pull off, and they require, they just require a more complex structure.
More
it's
attorney
there.
fees.
More attorney fees. That's right.
Plug Brandon Martin.
Martin Legal. Yeah, Martin Legal. They do great work over there. So, yeah, there's a ton of opportunity out there. It's just the biggest issue, whether it's on the rep side or project financing. I think it's credit, it's collateral, it's capital. It just takes money to develop these assets and then run them efficiently. Right.
But the way they pencil out is, from what I've seen, far better than what these projects had penciled out without the addition of that added revenue stream.
Yeah, because it's it helps flatten their offtake as well, right? Certainly if you look at it on the wind and solar side, but I mean, Bitcoin, oil and gas, we're all subject to market forces, right?
Right.
And a lot of what we've seen on those, some of those opportunities that existed, especially with the renewables, is they've taken more merchant positions. Power has been more expensive, so they're willing to risk a merchant position much more than they have historically, right? And that is great for them, right? And it's challenging for longer term deals sometimes, for a miner to do, because nobody can guarantee you cheap power just because you want it, right?
True.
The merchant has other considerations as well, but still deals are absolutely possible.
Yeah.
So,
well, what's next for Pumpjack, power infrastructure, crypto power, y'all's three primary brands? I mean, obviously infrastructure is going to keep building. Oil and gas. Crypto power is kind of a new line for you guys that it's growing quickly. What are some of the exciting things on the horizon there?
Yeah, it's we're really excited about continuing to be able to bring the kind of full turnkey solution, if you will, from the oil and gas space to the mining space. So it's less project managers you have to manage. We run all of the utility management. It's difficult for what we call civilian, if you will, to navigate the utility space. It's difficult. There's protocols and processes in place, and if you don't kind of follow them to a T and really know what you're doing and plan ahead and know the questions to ask, you can get behind on a lot of your projects. So we're really excited about continuing to engineer, build infrastructure, and then continue to marry that to a great financial solution as well. Total product customization.
Yeah.
We're really excited about the modeling that we can do on, for crypto power for those products, blending together the supply side, what we would call the supply side, the
Right.
energy pricing,
Right.
combined with the ancillary pricing as well, and really kind of optimizing those two on the mining side. We've been doing it on the oil and gas side for quite some time,
Yeah.
but they are different, they're different needs. But I mean, the Bitcoin products specifically on the power side, super exciting about what you can do, where you can go, and what you can optimize for that, for sure. So
Amazing.
and we're excited to be able to, again, go permit to power. It's just, you build it, contract it, you bring a physical solution, marry that up to a financial solution, and I think if you do it well, you can really make some magic happen.
Awesome. Guys, we're here at NAPE. Again, this is Scooter Womack, Executive Vice President at Pumpjack Power. Reach out to them if you have any questions about your facility. I'm sure they'll be a wealth of knowledge. What was your 10 megawatts or up, or what's your minimum?
No, I mean, I would say even 5 or up. I mean, we want to help.
5 megawatts.
Yeah, we
and up.
want to help everybody. You don't just have to be the 100 megawatt player.
Sure.
We think everybody deserves a shot to develop and grow in the space. Absolutely.
Amazing. Well, thanks for being here.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for having us.
Hey everybody, Ryan Harper. I'm sitting at the NAPE Summit 2023 here in Houston, Texas at the TBC Pumpjack Power podcast booth. And I just wanted to give a couple of updates about the summit and what we have planned. We just went live with our ticketing, and I just sent an email out to, 5,000 plus people to get early bird ticketing. But that's not why I wanted to do a video. One of the things I wanted to convey is what we have planned, what we have aspirations to be, and how we see the summit being moving forward. The last 2 years have been amazing events, and it's been centralized around Texas, centralized around policy, and great efforts in Austin, Texas. Moving forward, we want to have a much bigger footprint. We're going to be in Fort Worth in November 15th and 16th. We're going to be at the convention center. We're going to have a trade show floor. We're going to have speakers that you didn't think that we could get. We have aspirations to get some high quality, high profile people, both in policy, both in political world, and in the Bitcoin blockchain digital asset space. We're going to have workshops, we're going to have startups, we're going to have universities, we're going to have nonprofits, we're going to have opportunities for startups to pitch their products. We're going to have opportunities for nonprofits to kind of showcase what they're doing, their social initiative. Our goal is to include everything that enterprise, blockchain, Bitcoin, digital asset space would want in an event. Bitcoin Miami is amazing. Consensus is amazing. Both of those events have 20,000 plus people, but both those events are probably more of your retail space. Our goal is to make the summit the premier policy, Bitcoin, blockchain, digital asset space for everyone across the country. If you're an enterprise, if you're professional, if you want to do deals, if you want to make real change, the summit is where you need to be. This video was supposed to be 30 seconds. You're welcome. Anyway, we look forward to giving you more updates, and we'll see you at the summit.